take a look at the new TaylorMade P7CB irons and the new updated P770 irons. Today I'm going to take you through the new technology, I'm going to hit a few balls, and we're going to see how they perform. Let's get to it. So we've got two really interesting new additions to the TaylorMade iron family here. One brand new in the P7CB and one that seems to have just more of a more cosmetic upgrade from an initial model, the P770. Or is it a bit more than that? We'll stay tuned to find out. We're going to test in just a moment. But first up, the P7CB, and I was really excited about this one. Probably like a lot of you at home. I'd seen a lot of prototype images, the proto iron that was in Rory McIlroy's bag, Colin Morikawa, and even Nelly Korda. And that was the prototype version of what has become this P7CB. And I was excited because it looked great. From a shelf appeal point of view in the bag, I thought it looked absolutely fantastic. And I'm pleased to report it still does, even though they've just changed proto to P7CB. It's essentially what you've been looking at, and it looks great. It very much sits in the player's cavity kind of section, so your thin top line for your lower handicap, that kind of thing. And it's following on from the really successful P7MC irons that were really good on tour, did well in retail. So it's a good section for TaylorMade this. So it's an important product. And I think from a purely visual standpoint, they've absolutely nailed it. Shelf appeal as it sits in the bag is absolutely stunning, as I was just saying. So we've gotten rid of the kind of the high gloss finishes that can sometimes cheapen a product and age a product a little bit over time, in my opinion. And we've just got this really sort of premium brushed matte satiny finish. In the cavity here, we've still got those familiar kind of raised lines and grooves, which has become a bit of a calling card for TaylorMade in this kind of player's cavity section. Essentially, it's like a one-piece forged iron, but with a bit of a twist. So it goes through a really sort of robust forging process. They use 2,000 tons of forging pressure, which is double the industry standard. So it's a really tight forging process. But once that first process is complete and they've got the head, TaylorMade have milled out a little cavity in the sole here. And within that, they're putting a metal matrix composite, which is enhancing feel, and a bit of a tungsten mass behind strikes, similar to what's done in the P7TW iron, which feels amazing. So I'm really keen on figuring out what kind of a difference that has made to the feel. So I'm excited by that. From a visual point of view, this stands up against anything I've seen in this category. When I think of P770, and you might be the same, I've always sort of pigeonholed it in with P790 as kind of the youngest sibling, slightly more compact, but very much still in that kind of player's distance category. And it's not completely gone away from that, but TaylorMade wanted to make some subtle tweaks just to move it a bit further down the scale, back towards more that player cavity and the slightly lower mid handicap range. And they have done it more with just some visual refinements here. There's not masses of technology that has changed, but the notable thing is the look, particularly down behind the ball. The top line's become a lot thinner, which to the more discerning lower handicap eye is something that people tend to look for, and I think it's a really good change in this iron. The leading edge and the sole geometry has changed a little bit to focus on turf interaction, which is, again, from feedback TaylorMade we're getting from better players, turf interaction is something that's really key. So I'm really keen to see how that gets on. But purely from a visual point of view, shelf appeal wise, again, they've done a really good job here. Those of you who watch any of my reviews will know I much prefer a very minimalist look on irons, and TaylorMade have really achieved that here. They've got the brushed kind of satiny matte finish that goes on the P7CBs. They've carried that through for kind of a cohesive look in the family, which is great. On the back here, we haven't got a lot at all here. We've just got a little T-bug here on the toe, slight banner strip with P770, and that's it. I'm looking forward to seeing how these perform, so I think I'm just going to get on with it. Let's hit some balls, I'll take some numbers, and I'll get back to you in a second. I really enjoyed that session. I've got some interesting results. I'm going to pop some numbers up on the screen for you now so you can take a look at the launch monitor data that I've collected. And P7CB to start with was pretty much exactly what I was hoping for and exactly what I would expect out of an iron in this player's cavity categories. I was getting really consistent flight windows, so no surprises, no jumpers, nothing was popping up. Spin was very consistent, and overall, that's what I look for in this area. I don't want any surprises, I just want a consistent result that I can anticipate what's going to happen on the golf course, and that's what I got. From a feel point of view, I really enjoyed this iron. It's kind of a unique feel. It's soft without being weak, but it's robust without being firm. It's just bang on in the middle. It's a really, really good feel. This is a great all-round performer. Data was good, looks are good, feel was good, all those unquantifiable things. Getting good vibes from this iron, and I think this is going to be a real success in that player's cavity market for TaylorMade. On to P770, and again, some really nice results. I'll pop them up on the screen for you there from a data point of view as well. So both the 7 irons in the CB and the P770 as standard come at 33 degrees. So we're not got any issues with trying to blend that set and weaken and strengthen loss. There's a really nice blend point there. Performance is slightly different, and in the longer irons, these do get a touch stronger. So kind of in the 6, 5, 4, they're about a degree stronger than the P7CBs, but that's offset with a little bit of a CG location change, and you still get enough launch out of these despite the stronger loft. So from a blend point of view, performance-wise works, and also visually, we've got a nice cohesive kind of aesthetic here, the same finish on both irons. So popping the two into the bag together and blending them, it won't look strange, it'll look really good in the bag. Not crucial, but something to note. So from a performance point of view, like I said, they were a touch different. A different flight window for me personally. I was popping these up, launch angle was a little bit higher out of the comparative 7 iron from the P7CBs, which is something I tend to expect from a hollow bodied iron. And also they just felt a little livelier. Again, that's kind of a characteristic of those hollow bodied irons. It didn't feel harsh in any way, it didn't feel too hot. There was just a little bit more liveliness to strike than P7CBs, and as I said, that was creating a little bit more launch for me, which is something people are going to love. I think it works really well as a combo set, but also I was testing the shorter irons out as well in this session, and the wedge, the 9 iron, got some really nice consistent numbers, and that again is the key. I've just mentioned consistency with the P7CBs. I'm feeling it as well with the P770. Sometimes when I'm testing some of these hotter players' distance irons, if you like, you're chugging along nicely in the session, you're hitting some good numbers, your yardages are great, then all of a sudden one pops out 15 yards further with 1,000 revs less spin. That's just no good for someone who's playing at a reasonable level. You can't just have an outlier that jumps and puts you in trouble at the back of the green. I hit a lot of balls with this club, even took it out on the golf course earlier, and I saw some great results. Really predictable, really consistent, but really strong performance. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So how to summarize this? Well, I really like the direction TaylorMade have taken it. The whole sort of P series family just feels more cohesive. It feels more of a family now. They all complement each other and all have a specific job within the range, and I really, really like that. One slight disappointment I've got is I was hoping to see, when I went on the TaylorMade product launch, I was probably hoping to see a new blade, a new MB. That's not the case. I think they're pushing more of that P7TW, which has been really successful for a lot of players, including Scotty Scheffler. So I'm just gonna have to live with the lack of a new MB there. One thing I also like in both of these models is the addition of a gap wedge, a set gap wedge. That's something I've been playing in my gamer set, rather than having a specialist Vokey or whatever it might be in that 50 to 52 degree range. We've got the option to have the set gap wedge, which I really, really like. That's a very clever addition. Now, I've had the chance to spend a lot of time with some of the really clever people at TaylorMade on the product launch trip, including Matt Bovey, who was the designer of these irons. And I think even Matt would admit there's probably nothing groundbreaking in the new technology that's come here, but I think that's more of a testament to the quality of what was there before. The P7MCs did a really good job, so just some slight visual refinements have really elevated this P7CB to another level, in my opinion. A slight shift in the positioning of the P770 in terms of where it sits within that family, closer to the player's cavity. It's clever, it's the right thing. The family is more complete. So I think they've done a really, really good job, and there's not much to dislike here. Great aesthetic, improved feel, and the overall performance. Like I said, I took these on the golf course today, and I was hitting lots of different shots. They're workable, they do everything you'd want in a better player iron. So thanks for watching. I'd fully recommend trying these out. Go and take a look.